And joining us now, security consultant Brian Dorow, live in our studio to break down what happened, what we can learn from this, and just how well this was handled. Thanks for being here this evening.
Glad to be here. Yeah.
You, little perspective, you advise schools in Wisconsin.
I do. So I have a pretty robust security company, have a long, extensive law enforcement background, over 30 years. And we have about 35 schools that are our clients. And so we advise them on a daily basis. But certainly this was a major tragedy that was averted.
You have no doubt in your mind?
No doubt, no doubt. Because you look at the intent, that student didn't belong there, came to a former school, elementary school, with a long gun. So you got to, even though certainly the school officials stopped it, which is a great thing, you got to look at the person's intent. He was there to do something very bad.
And officials say he Googled school shootings before this happened. Yeah. Let's talk about what happened right today. What can other schools learn from Kenosha?
Yeah, well, we know that certainly you got to always assess your vulnerabilities, your threat picture. I cannot emphasize enough, always pay attention to social media. A lot of times, it's like it comes out later, well, we saw this person with a gun perhaps, or we saw this person making threats. That's unacceptable now. You have to pay attention to your student body, your social media. And I can tell you, after working with a lot of schools right now, we have armed security officers in schools. And our school districts, and the one that is the gold star for school safety, the New Berlin School District, we have armed officers in their elementary schools for various reasons. We're constantly addressing the vulnerabilities, the threat picture. We can respond to an incident in seconds. I always say there's a 4-minute window. We know that certainly 8 to 10 casualties can occur if you don't address it in a short period of time. So time is of the essence, seconds count. And then the last thing I would say is take a holistic approach. School safety is after school, school safety is on weekends, school safety is any time that school is open, certainly for students, for athletic events, and that's another direction we've seen that school districts are going. They're taking that holistic approach.
We have learned from authorities that the teen went around the school and tried other doors. Yeah. So that's a lesson also for schools.
Yeah, that's the vulnerability, right? Mm-hmm. Is there a door that is unlocked? Is there a door for perhaps that didn't hitch right? And that's what they look for, the path of least resistance, because we know in school shooting situations, the first attempt to stop is usually where the person stops. Whether it's law enforcement arrives on scene, whether there's some type of movement that stops them, they get locked into a room. That's usually when it stops. And so the quicker you can intervene and identify the threat, address the threat, the sooner this is going to end.
And even if someone has a plan, and let's say this kid knew what he wanted to do, it seemed like today, suddenly it starts to unravel. Can't get in all these doors. Yep. Makes his way to the front of the building, goes in, and now we're seeing something. I mean, when I was in elementary school, my school office workers, I don't remember them going through the things that school office workers have to do now. They were called heroes today. Absolutely. By law enforcement. Do you agree with that?
I agree. Look what they stopped.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely heroes 100%.
And just by asking questions, right? The kid walks in, they think he's nervous, and they confront him.
Yeah.
And that was enough to spook him and make him run away.
We don't ever want to be complacent.
Yeah.
Who are you? What are you doing here? Check the doors. All that stuff has to be part of our daily operation in a school environment.
Now, we know this is still an investigation. We don't know what the motive was. All we know is that a 13-year-old who does not attend that school came to the school dressed suspiciously and had a firearm. And so that, what his plans were, we don't know. We think it's leading to this, but still, it has to be stopped.
It does.
Before he gets...
Well, and we have to be prepared.
Yeah.
And preparedness, and, going back to Columbine, we know things have changed drastically. We know law enforcement respond is different, but it doesn't matter. You still have to be so super prepared. Mm-hmm. And there can be no complacency, and every day it could possibly happen. And it could possibly happen anywhere. It doesn't matter.
4 minutes, you said?
4 minutes. That's your golden window, 4 minutes.
And today it was just seconds to maybe stop this thing. Brian Dorow, thanks for coming in. And obviously all our schools have changed, and we're seeing it's making a difference out there. It did today in Kenosha. Brian, thanks.